is in quadrilateral PQRS below, sides PS, to be this side, and QR, this side, are going to be parallel for what value of x. So right off the bat, a lot of students might look at this angle, and think automatically that the answer is 112. That would be incorrect. And that's not even an answer choice. So where I would start is I would just visually just go ahead and expand these lines. That little tick mark, this little arrow tick mark that I'm making just means that they're parallel. And I would extend these lines as well, just so we can get a bigger picture, right? So if PS and QR are going to be parallel, then that means that PQ is going to be a transversal, meaning a transversal is just a line that intersects two parallel lines at the same angle. So since we have this transversal at PQ, that means that P and Q are going to be these are interior angles on the same side of the same side of the transversal. Do you see that? So these two angles, P and Q, are going to be congruent. And we can see that this 70 is on a straight line with P. And then the angle measure of a straight line is 180. So we can do 180 minus 70. And that'll give us 110 for P. And then we already said that P and Q were congruent. So that means Q is also going to be 110. And that means that the correct answer is going to be D, 110. Is the greatest common factor of 42, 126, and 210. So the words to pay attention to, one of the words to pay attention to here is greatest. We don't want just a common factor, because looking at the answer choices, 2 is going to be a factor of 42, 126, and 210 because they're all even, but they probably have a bigger factor in common than 2. And also, what is a factor? A factor is a number that you multiply by another number to get the product. So with like 2 times 3 equals 6, the factors are going to be 2 and 3. So yeah, that's what a factor is. So now we're going to get to solving the problem. So where I would start with these questions is I would just automatically divide all of these answer choices by the numbers we have. So I'll explain. So I'll take 42 and divide it by 42, and that's going to be 1. And then I would take 126 and I would divide it by 42, and then that would give us 3. And then I would take 210 and I would divide it by 42, my bad. I would take 210 and I would divide it by 42, and that gives us 5. So very simple. That means 42 is our answer. And you don't have to, and that's a much simpler way of doing it. You don't have to go through all the factors. And if 42 didn't work, I would move on to 21. And I would go in descending order because I'm trying to find the greatest common factor. So with questions that start with the greatest, I would start at the biggest one and also kind of eyeball and see like if there are any that you automatically want to eliminate. I would go ahead and work those out too. So yeah.